Gramsci is, for me, one of the most important thinkers of the 20th century. And this is a desperate attempt to bring his voice back to the present. I've always worked in the shadow of Gramsci, of his thinking. Gramsci believed that culture can affect change. And so I think it's important to believe today exactly that, because the world of art and culture is perhaps the last remaining space of freedom. And that's where we are working with, the world of culture. And so it is a call to us, to artists, intellectuals, producers of culture, to affect change. And this is perhaps the only space where we can do it today, because politics have failed us miserably. The art world is a bubble. It's a small world. I speak to you, you speak to me. So I've always done a lot of works in the public space. In fact, a third of my practice is in the public space. I would like to reach a larger audience. I would like to speak to an audience that is not always looking at the art world, but looking at the world at large. And so I'm interested in that dialogue. And that dialogue requires a different type of vocabulary, a different types of language to speak to them. You have to be more generous, you have to be more open. And so that's why I offer the possibility of taking this work and taking it home if they identify with the message and they would like to bring that message to other people around them. You work in the public space, you try to create what I call cracks in the system. Because the system tries to normalize violence, tries to normalize racism, tries to normalize discrimination. And so what this work does, it affirms the contrary. It says, no, this is not normal. Things can be better. And to do it in a public space is to suggest that we can make a difference. We make our voice heard. Chiaroscuro, of course, makes a reference to art history, to Da Vinci and to Caravaggio. And it's about light and shadow. And so this work presents these two extremes. It's a beautiful work, full of color, full of joy, full of light, but it talks about shadows that are invading, that are coming in a wave of fascism around Germany, around Europe, and around the world. The colors are very simple. The yellow and black and red and black make reference to the German flag. The blue makes reference to the European Union flag, and the green makes reference to the Italian flag because Gramsci was Italian. So that's the explanation of the colors. And it becomes like a very festive, very summer-like work. And I like to see these colors flying into the wind. But unfortunately, they bring a message of despair in the middle of the reality we are facing now. A million German passport was an attempt to ask Germany what kind of Germany they want. The 1 million German passport referred to the million of immigrants that Angela Merkel accepted in 2014 in a very generous gesture. That gesture of solidarity provoked a gesture of hate because 1 million voters of the CDU, of her political party, left her party and voted for the AfD. And so the work makes a reference to that million of new Germans that were accepted by Merkel, but also to that million of Germans that left her party to vote for a fascist party. So the question was, what kind of Germany would you like to have? And so that works connect very well with this work because it also makes reference to this fascism that is, this wave of fascism that is invading Germany and Europe.